Okay, hi everybody. It's me, Bananny Split, and Lisha 22. I wanted to interview her since she's been doing gyaru since 2007, and I feel like she has a lot of valuable information that she can teach a lot of us, especially like newer girls that's coming into gyaru because they think it's interesting. So, Lisha, I got a couple of questions that I want to ask you and whatnot. My first one is, what's three things you would change about Reiwa gyaru?
Ooh, three things, eh? Three things I would change about Reiwa gals that maybe more oomph with their style. A lot of the pictures I do see, it makes me think of like they're already in Belinda for the most part, save for perhaps like Ran or Dawn from Egg, and just like a couple others that have like really toned down makeup and everything. Another one would be, and also like these are for the Japanese data gals, right?
Yeah,
I would like to see like more events and such. Gal has died down a bit over the years, but it would be nice to see some sort of like events outside happenings or something with Garu. Egg recently did their event where some of those egg models were like car partying and everything. That was really cute. And a push to have Shibuya 9 as like the stomping grounds again than just buying clothes off Shein. Actually
right.
like having some sort of like community back again that really has dwindled over the years, maybe even more so because of the pandemic and the stay-at-home initiative. Those are my three things.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you said. I wish that wasn't controversial because a lot of people do like saying that it's controversial, or they think that if you say that, you're saying that current gal like Reiwa is bad. But it's like, like considering what we know about gyaru from research and from being in it, gyaru is supposed to be extreme and stuff, and like a lot of it is shifting more and more towards looking, normal per se. Um, so my next question is, what are your pros and cons about Reiwa?
Oh, pros and cons about Reiwa. Since I'm not emotionally invested with that particular style, I don't have a strong opinion about that. I lived during the Heisei gyaru area where, especially being in the older Gaijin gyaru community for Americans or Westerners, that we more so had the like go big, go home. Of course, we had like some only gals and everything, but they still had a flair. Like, okay, they're gonna have like the voluminous, super curled hair, right?
Right.
One kick moment, so I just can't tap the thing and make it pop up. The hair will be curled in style. There's the eyelashes, they have the clothes, they have the bling and everything. The high heels, that they had a lot of the effort. With Reiwa, there's a few gals that I see every now and then who kind of had that flair, like they haven't lost it over that time. For their generation, for Reiwa, even though like everybody's Garu style is going to be their like own personal take on it, their own style shining through with Garu fashion, that at least when it comes back to us now, for a lot of the younger generation in the Western world, it's almost like, oh, we don't have to like push ourselves that hard. Like nobody's doing this, or maybe the styling doesn't have to be like as bold and as fun as it is, unless you are like Heisei influenced with your
Right.
style. So
Right. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Like, I feel like because a lot of the Reiwa looks in Japan are toned down, like a lot of newcomers here, they think, well, this is toned down, I don't have to do that. But it's not like small things like, oh, well, I don't necessarily have to do my nails today. It's like major things to the point where there's people that's like trying to say don't have to do makeup, and I think that's like not good. Also, I mean, I'm even saying myself here, not necessarily with Reiwa, but I know that you had told me, like, you had called me out about like not doing like my foundation and everything. And, it's like, she got a point and stuff. Let me do that and stuff because when people look at me, they're like, oh, you ain't doing that, so why I gotta do this? So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna start doing my foundation and stuff. And I had to watch the tutorials on how to like contour my nose because it was hard because I don't know, I kept finding videos that wasn't like the right kind. But I will say, like, with the Reiwa gowns, I really like the way Erica and Rand does their makeup. Like, I feel like they're very like Heisei inspired. So I like what they're doing. Like, they really, really go above and beyond. Like, you can see that they're Reiwa, but you can also see the inspiration from Heisei. Well, I feel like this next question kind of like was answered with like what we were talking about with these first two questions. I was gonna ask like, what are things you think Reiwa gals can learn from Heisei gals?
um, for Reiwa gals and Heisei gals, especially ones that are super new that haven't seemed to like unlock their style quite yet, maybe, is that like practicing is your best friend. Instead of just like, oh, okay, I want to be a part of this group, and maybe they don't even have like the styling for themselves yet, or their hairstyling, or the basic makeup skills and stuff, that they just want to like jump in, have daddy friends, all the daddy everything, then just be able to like sit down and practice. Like if you have shaky hands, do your best to draw line work that is even, not too, wobbly and stuff. Practice hairstyles, practice kind of seeing like how outfits work. I know that sounds very technical, very like almost like scientific, like this is the formula of good style. But A plus B2 equals super gal.
Yeah.
That practicing before showing pictures, especially if it's coming across as if it's like the best photo that they're able to manage, or like picture that they're able to manage.
I was gonna say, but yeah, I agree with you because like the advice that you're saying, I've told a lot of new people that, and I'm like, look, you gotta practice this every day. And once you know what you want to do, maybe you can, and once you understand it, maybe you can lay off and not practice as much. But when you first start, one, you gotta have some basic makeup knowledge. If you don't, you gotta start from there. You can't jump to this because gyaru is like, even if you're doing a toned down style, still, what I would consider extreme compared to like the basics, of makeup. But you have to know that it's like okay, I play the flute. Okay, I can't just like, oh, let me go play Flight of the Bumblebee. I gotta know my basics. I gotta know the scales. I gotta know my chromatic. I gotta know how to read the music. Dang, I got like a lot of questions on here. So how do you feel about like newer gyaru brands or like the old gyaru brands that are resurfacing? Like as a vet gyaru, what do you like about them, and what would you like to change about them?
With the resurgence of like Daya, Mars, and Liz Lisa kind of bringing back some of those like iconic prints and everything, and kind of doing a slight shift to maybe their origins. Maybe it'll be eventually like a complete 100% change back to what they used to look like, and just having it be current for 2025 in one words. That it's nice to see. It was really strange. being a part of my hiatus around that 2015 type of year, like graduating, as myself like retiring, not really doing lots of guided blog posts, kind of being like minorly active, but just concentrating on everything else too. Okay, come back, making content, and oh, here's a print here. Oh, here's something kind of handmade-esque there again. Oh, Gaia is back from the dead. It makes me wonder, like, what other brands could come back too? You know, would Lisa have like their iconic silhouettes and their dresses and shawls and boleros back again, or are they just gonna have like brighter colored GIK clothes? Would Mars go back to their iconic pink and black clothes for Agajo and everything? I would like to see like where they go with bringing their iconic prints with Garu back, having them have that shift to a different style. It's like still be active, having that shift, but then like bringing it back a little bit. I wonder like where that's going to lead in months, in a year or so. So for the newer Garu brands, at least like the ones from the West-ish, they're interesting. Their price points are a little too high for the materials that they're using. And it's just like a personal thing with, like it's plastic at the end of the day. Like it's not silk, it's not like hand woven anything. All of this is made more or less in a factory. You don't have people. I mean, there's probably people like sewing it by hand. I don't know like what factories they're using, how their behind the scenes looks like, but it's not like, oh, you have this one person like hand stitching everything for it to be super expensive. I do wonder what brands will open up and say, hey, we're not just small and medium, or we're not just small, medium, large, or just small and free size. That those brands do branch out to bigger sizes. I don't necessarily see that for Shibuya, one of my brands.
Right.
However, I don't say that that is a big like 100% no, because after all, Ghost Infinity, Glaville, Tutu, was Tutu part of that? Ghost Infinity, Glaville, Ghost of Harlem, Mars, Liz Lisa, Swan Kiss, they all had came to Los Angeles twice, right?
I didn't know that.
Seeing the variances of people, skin tones, height, sizing, and everything. And skin tones had really nothing to do with it, but just like the variety, just the differences and everything, right? They can see who is able to buy the clothes and who is not. Of course, some brands, they want to cater to the market that they want to. That's on them. But with them having sent their people and their product to Los Angeles, where they can see a bigger demographic, a demographic with a lot of variations, to possibly say like, how could this translate to somebody who is taller, to somebody who has like a little bit more voluptuous, somebody who is a little bit bigger and everything, that can be something.
With the brands coming back, I have been seeing Dia stuff. I don't know why I thought it was pronounced Dia for the longest. But like, I'm glad that they're back. Like, they're bringing their belts back. I don't necessarily like the clothing so far. Hopefully they make more of the nostalgic clothing, but I'm just hoping that it's more like size friendly, especially the belts, because people have to use extenders for their belts and whatnot. But yeah, I definitely hope like other brands come back. Like, I really want Gold Infinity to come back, because I like the way their stuff was pretty about this.
Likewise, you did mention that you had some other questions as well. Definitely keep them. I will also have some questions too.
Okay.
So we can start like more leading into like a conversation if you want to go that route.